I had to board operate the show. I had to, whatever. I'd even find some guests for him. It got to a point I just couldn't do it anymore. And I need to concentrate on our show, Night Dreams Talk Radio. So I made the decision today that, I just can't, I don't want to, and I don't want to carry any other host on my show right now. I really don't, unless I can find one that's willing to step up and do what it needs to do for his show. I just can't spread myself that thin anymore. So anyway, I just wanted to let people know, because I've already had people asking me, well, gee, what's going on about the UFO I-Team or the Paranormal Lawyers show? Well, that's what's happening. I just can't physically do my show and board op and everything and promote to his shows and my shows. It just wasn't enough time in the week. I want to give you guys the best show I can. And I'm not saying on a great show. I'm not saying on a bad show either. I'm probably in between, lukewarm, whatever. So I just wanted to get this out once and only, and I'm not going to talk about it again. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here like about 10 minutes early tonight. But, I really, how can I say this? I really love our country. I really love people in general. And I'm really concerned right now. It's just, I don't want to get always a negative, because I do the news every night, and I'm talking about hurricanes. I'm talking about Antarctica, earth changes. Well, you know what? When I started talking about all this stuff a year ago, people would sit there and go, ha, 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 Gary, you don't know what you're talking about. Now those same people are coming back and saying, oh, my God, you were right. Okay, well, you know what? We can't treat our planet this way and expect to have a place to put our feet. I can see some of the grounds that our administration has done for putting tariffs, because let's face it, we were being robbed. Jobs, we were being robbed, technology. Real quick story. Back in the 80s, I used to own a computer manufacturing company, and I used to actually design computers. I've had electronic background since I was a kid. My dad was an electronic engineer. I had my amateur license. I really was into electronics at one point in my life. Made a mistake. I designed a computer, sent it over at that time to, I think, Korea. Not North Korea, but South Korea. No, I take that back. It was Taiwan. I apologize. I take that back. Taiwan. And you know what? It didn't take long. My designs, my everything, because I had to supply them schematics where they could build it. I had to meet with their engineers. We had to work out any little problems. Well, it didn't take 6 months after they started manufacturing my equipment. It was being bootlegged. It was being sold. And all of a sudden, people were designing computers by putting them in a case and selling them in the United States. I had to go to the point, like when we designed our computers, we had to submit it to the FCC. That's before we first would have to send it to a lab, have it tested for emissions where it wouldn't interfere with, emergency broadcasting, the TV stations, hospital, the police bands, and it had to be tested for that. Then we would then send a piece of equipment to the FCC in Maryland, and they would run tests on it to make sure, everything was, designed right and it didn't do any interference. They would give us a grant identifier number to manufacture it. Well, what happened is all this stuff being bootlegged in Taiwan, people were buying them, putting them in the case. The FCC didn't have the money to go through and hit these people with fines, because it was, it seemed like everybody down the local corner was building computers back in the 80s, and they weren't doing it legal. And, it was really frustrating. But that's the way things are, and that's how it is now with China. Okay, you send something over there to be made in China, doesn't take long, they make knockoffs of it, right? And they're selling it, at a lower price than you can sell it. So I can see our president doing what he's doing. But the problem is we have three things that's going on right now. Okay, we have the feds raising, and talking about they're going to raise the interest rate up at least 3 or 4 more times. That has got, the stock market investors panicky. Now the tariffs, that's now another whammy. And then what's going on with Russia, what's going on with North Korea, and what's going on with China. And everybody is scared. And the stock markets are taking a big dump over in Europe and in China and the United States. And I don't know where it's going to go. I hope it doesn't go like it did in the 80s, where the stock market took a huge dump. That is scary. And I don't know. Myself, yes, I probably wouldn't have levied. If I was the president, I wouldn't have probably gone as far as our president did on the tariffs, as fast as he did. I probably would have took it a lot slower and not as high dollar amount. Because, let's face it, we've had a lot of negative news. Just think last week, the Chinese destroyer, it tried ramming the United States destroyer. What would happen if they would have collided? Could something have escalated from that? The tension is really high. So right now, all the news you're getting is bad. And then the hurricanes just keep coming and getting worse. And all these people that have no place to live. And, a lot of these people have, besides no place to live, they have no job now, a lot of them, and they don't have no money. So, and it's really bad about our society. When something bad happens and it's not in your neighborhood, we have a tendency of about a week goes by and people kind of like, oh, well, it's over with, and they move on. But how about all these people that lost their houses, lost their income, lost their money, don't have a place really to live, and wonder how they're going to survive day to day? That's what scares me. But yet we can invest money in arms and I don't know. I just get so frustrated. And I'm just thinking of you, my friends out there. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Everybody have a great a night, and we'll be back on tomorrow. So we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give $1 or $2. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.